Hello, welcome to the post-match point on the Villa View. This show is in association with Purity Ale. If you use the code #VillaView, you'll get 10% off all the beers and ales that Purity have to offer, including their 1982 cans when they come back in stock. Don't even know where to begin with what I've just watched unfold in front of my eyes, but hopefully Neil and Ty will know where to begin as they join me for this show. And lads, at one point I just thought, here we go. We're really going to upset the apple cart here, but in typical Villa fashion, a wild 6 and 7 minutes, and we've ended up losing 3-2. And I'm getting a mixed reaction from some of the stuff I've tweeted on Twitter, Neil. It's weird, I think, just because it's Manchester City and, you know, that they're obviously gunning for the title. They're an exceptional team. If you are 2-0 up and you can see 3 goals in 7 minutes, I think that's weak mentality and weak mentally.
I feel embarrassed in a way about that game. No, that's probably too strong a word. I've used it twice already, but I think that's probably too strong a word.
We should probably say it's hard to come on here straight after a game and be rational. It is very difficult.
Yeah, I'm going to retract that word I used. I'm going to retract the word embarrassed. So what I'm going to say is I kind of feel like I'm stuck in a time warp. I feel like I'm stuck in this never-ending cycle of things are great for 70 or 80 minutes, and then we end up losing. And it's just happened an awful lot over the last 10 years or so, you know, for Villa. And it's, I suppose it kind of wears you down every so often. And I know this game didn't mean an awful lot to us, really. But, you know, we're 2-0 up, 70 whatever minutes, and then we lose 3-2. You know, there has to be questions asked about that, I think. You know, there has to be questions asked.
The game plan was good, Ty, up until Manchester City scored. You know, we reduced them. They've created very few clear-cut chances. We got off to a shaky start, as I would have expected with the goalkeeper that hasn't really played since November, but we settled down. Great goal just before half time, and then did the unbelievable thing of getting that second goal as well. But then as soon as, I mean, even at 2-0, I never felt massively comfortable, to be honest, but I thought we were playing well. But as soon as they score, you do know what's going to happen, don't you?
I mean, we defended great throughout the majority of the game. Oh, I'm Neil.
Right, directorship there we go.
We defended so well, and then that Coutinho for Nakamba subs just, you know, put us that little bit to park the bussy, and, you know, it's a very, you know, well, probably against anybody else, it's probably a good sub, but against the team who are chasing the Premier League title, they need those goals. They're gonna shove everything at it. And when you've got Watkins up there on his own because Coutinho's been subbed, it's like, well, what can you do? You know, I don't think it was a great sub, to be honest. I was, it's just classic Villa. You know, when you, whether you wanted Man City or Liverpool to win, that part's irrelevant. It's just one of those things where it's just classic. I think the only team could be 2-0 up against Man City that late on in the game and loses us. I'm just quite happy to put that to bed, if I'm honest, and the end of the season. I'm glad it's over.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't even like we got them going into the 90th minute and it was 2-2 and they were chasing a goal. Like, we literally capitulated in such a short space of time. It's unreal. It's unprecedented to concede 3 in that amount of time. The way we did, I just so bad. I'm struggling to collect my thoughts. The sub, Neil, as Ty just says, on the face of it, you can see, okay, I'm bringing off an attacking player for a defensive player. Let's try and protect what we've got a little bit. And it is easy to always do these things with hindsight. But there was going to be space. Space was going to open up because Man City were going to have to attack as they did. Nakamba isn't great on the ball. I thought Luiz was having a good game in defensive midfield, to be honest. I don't like him there, but I thought he was having a good game. Nakamba's played once, twice since Christmas, maybe. You're asking someone to come into the fire there with a water pistol. It's just no good for him, is it? It's tough for him to come on and adapt to a game of that pace. The sub just killed any advantage that we had and just put the momentum in Manchester City's favour. And as I say, I know it's very easy to judge that with hindsight, but it's hard to look at that and think that the sub didn't cost us in some way.
It definitely cost us. It as you said, it killed all our momentum that we had. Now, look, you know, it is hindsight is 2020. You know, we're looking back in the event and we're saying, "Oh my God, when the Nakamba came on, it cost us." But I think it was probably like at the time, it was probably the right decision to make. You know, it was probably the right decision to make at the time, but then it just transpired that, you know, the game then got away from us afterwards. And what you said there rang true. You know, that you're bringing on somebody there who probably, you know, you'd have to think somebody has the legs, even if they've only played twice since Christmas. You'd have to think that they have the legs for the last 15, 16 minutes of a game, but it didn't pan out that way. And it wasn't just him that was an issue, you know, for those 8 minutes where we conceded 3 goals. You know, Emi Buendia goes right out to the wing to take somebody on, and literally goes to dive in to tackle him when all he needs to do is jockey him. Ball comes across, and they score. You know, little things like that. I'm looking at Twitter here. Rodri apparently handles the ball for his goal. I don't know, but it's just
I didn't notice that at the time, I must say.
Yeah. I know. I didn't notice it either. You know, Mings' heavy touch, Douglas Luiz being caught in his heels for the second goal. You know, there was a lot of little things there from a tired team. And, you know, we defended brilliantly up until 70 whatever minute.
Chambers was monumental, I thought, for 70. I thought he was having a brilliant game. Really, really good game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was at fault for any of the goals. It is a collective thing, isn't it, Ty? It's a collective problem. Just as the team worked hard to get themselves 2-0 up, and I felt that was a team thing. You've seen the best and worst sides of Villa tonight, because there is just that fragility there. Very reminiscent of the Wolves game in a lot of ways. Yeah. And obviously that's come under 2 different managers, and one of them's Wolves and one of them's Manchester City, who are one of the best teams in the world. But you just know Villa have got that in their locker, and we have seen the best and worst of them there.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with that for 90 minutes of football, of, you know, being pressed like that. You know, I would have been very surprised if we would have managed to get through 90, because they did push us for, you know, the majority of the game. But again, I just think it boils down to that sub of putting too much on the back burner. You know, we should have gone for a third. We don't need to park the bus. You know, we were defending well. We didn't need to put another defensive option there. They looked a bit more dangerous in the second half with their chances. You know, you could see they were getting closer and closer to scoring a goal, and then, you know, it's just one of them things where it came. So I ain't got a lot to say on the matter, to be fair, Dan. I'm quite happy that the season's over, if I'm honest. I'm just, especially with the news of, you know, Kamara flying about. I'm quite glad that we have that to, you know, look forward to. You know, we made 2 transfers before the transfer window's even open. So that's cost 17 million for them both. I know that's completely off subject, but I just wanted to shed a bit of positivity into the chat, because there isn't much to talk about positive right now. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. It is what it is.
There is one more, I think, that's relatively close as well, as I understand it. So hopefully that'll get done now the Premier League season is finished as well. I just can't stop dwelling on the sub. I'm just thinking about it whilst we're talking. Like, you bought Nakamba on, fair enough, but then not only have you bought Nakamba on, you've then had to move Louise. You've then had to move Ramsey into it. You're moving people into different positions as well, moving people about when it's been going quite well, Neil. I always think that plays a part as well. If you're making a sub, you've ended up disrupting 2 other players as well.
Yeah, and it's like, we can talk about the sub until we're blue in the face as well, but like, this happened under Dean Smith, it's happened under managers throughout the course of the years. You know, I just love to find the person who put the curse in us for that point of view. From that point of view, the fact we can't hold on to a 2-0 lead, I nearly would have, you know, like, we probably would have even defended better at nearly 1-0. I don't know what the story is. You know, we can say anything in hindsight, but those 2 subs, like that 1 substitution to make 2 moves, you're right, Dan. You know, it changes the dynamic during the middle of the game. And but once again, as I say, hindsight is 2020 with stuff like that. But it's just like I know most people will come on here and then probably have never seen me as down in the dumps over a Villa result. I took this one hard. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I think everything was going our way. You know, Coutinho banging one in. It was a beautiful goal. Great to get him back on the score sheet, and we soaked up loads of pressure.
Just about saw it on Sky's coverage. They were too busy cutting to a different game when Villa scored the second on the Sky coverage. I only just about saw it here. I don't know what it was like in Ireland.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't be upset, because going into the game, I really expected nothing. So I don't know why I'm now coming on here.
That's true. I'll tell you what I did like. Like, a few people had said, if Emi was in goal, he would have saved those goals. Like,
nah.
No, maybe he might have, but you've got Olsen give off some good distribution, and you got to remember he hasn't played 90 minutes of football, first team football all season. So I don't think he hasn't, has he?
No, he was last game was in November for Sheffield United, I think.
Yeah. So his ball distribution was great. You know,
it's good to see him because we're probably going to sign him. So, you want to see what he's about a little bit. I would say he recovered well from a shaky start. He looked very nervy the first 5-10 minutes time, and then he recovered from that. So it's interesting to see him. I really don't think Martinez saves any of them. I don't think you can look at the goalkeeper for any of the goals. That's just my opinion, but I certainly don't think he saves Rodriguez, and the other two were from very close in. So I don't think having Martinez there makes too much difference. Maybe it does in terms of settling the defence and obviously the familiarity of playing together. But I don't think you can look at any of the goals and point the finger at the goalkeeper. I think we probably saw the best and worst of Ollie Watkins today as well, Ty. Some great play. Like he's such a willing runner. He works hard, but at times his touch and his finishing, it just isn't there. It's almost as if you could combine Ings and Watkins. You'd have the perfect striker for the way Villa are trying to play, but obviously that's not how life in football works. There
was definitely moments of frustration. That one where Olsen's played the ball over the top. I mean, they flagged offside. I think VAR would have checked it. He was very, very close, whatever it was.
No, he was on. He was in his own half.
Was he on? Yeah. Oh, was he in his own half? Oh, okay. I thought it was just past the shoulder. I think he'll be glad to see the end of this season, to be fair. Probably been a very frustrating season for him because I personally think there's a player in there. I think he should stay on with us. And I think...
Well, Gerrard seems to talk up him. He wants him here, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just still hurt by that sub. If you're going to take Coutinho off, if you're not going to go for another Cam, go for another striker. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even bring Ings on next to him. Do you know what I mean? I know Ings came on, but I'm just that one's still a bit tough.
It'd have almost been better with Ashley Young coming on, like the sub we made at the end, bizarrely when we were 3-2 down and we took Buendia off for Ashley Young. It would have almost, if you're going to take Coutinho off, Ashley Young then would have probably made a bit more sense than what we did.
Yeah, I would absolutely say. Yeah, I agree. So I'm just really happy to see the end of it, Dan. I don't want to sit here and pan the team because I think that I seen a stat actually from ABFC Statu. That was the first time we've took the lead at Man City since John Carew scored in 2010. So 2010, yeah. There's a 12-year-old record that we've. There was a few years absence in the Premier League, but still, it's a record that's reset. Just clutching at straws to find a positive.
Well, that was the thing. We've been rotten against the teams above us all season.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking at 2-0 up, oh my God, we've saved the best till last. Also, whilst having the nagging down in the back of my head that this is Aston Villa Football Club, and we're still very unlikely to win the game. Which is why am I upset? I don't understand why I'm so upset now.
Yeah, I like we do it to ourselves all the time. We dare to believe when we're playing against, and look, I'm going to say we dare to believe against the bigger teams. Like it's like we were 1-0 up against Liverpool going into injury time, and Liverpool won 2-1 last season. It's like it just always happens to come back and bite us in the bum every so often. But look, I've it's been good to be able to talk it out because if I was sitting at home munning on that on my own. At home, I could be very, very bad company for the better half inside for the rest of the afternoon tonight. But I'm beginning to get my smile back anyway after talking it out because and you know what? I'm laughing at some of the comments here. I'm not going to share up some of the comments, but I was going down through the comments here, and there was somebody that was saying Neil is annoying, and I was going, what? I haven't even said anything. I don't know why I would say I'm annoying, and then I realized two lads in the comments were having a conversation
about whether you're annoying or not.
Is one of them called Neil?
How can I be annoying? I've barely said anything.
Ty, thoughts on Neil being annoying?
Am I annoying?
I love the bloke. I can't knock him.
I don't find you annoying.
I've got you back, Neil. Don't worry.
Guys.
Compared to me, you're definitely not annoying as well. Oh man, I am glad the season's over. I think because I do think it's going to be an exciting summer as well. I do think we'll do some good business. Obviously, we've come straight on, so I don't know if Gerrard spoke and if he said anything. Do let us know if he has. But I'm imagining, not because of the Liverpool thing that he's been drummed into him all week, that I'm sure he's not actually that bothered about because he will be focused on Villa. But Gerrard will be annoyed by that because I don't think he likes mental fragility high, and that was mental fragility.
Yeah, there's probably in the back of his mind as well a bit of redemption for, he's slipped
the
many
City
moons
fans
ago.
are singing his bloody song at the end of the game as well.
Yeah, which is
He'll be
understandable.
annoyed.
But what also rattled me was Sky Sports drowning out Villa. I found you can just know, obviously, when you've been to Villa games, especially away ones, that we're not quiet. They were definitely drowned out by sound control. And I won't have that we were that quiet all game. Like
we
weren't, especially at 2-0. We were most definitely on the last game of the season, not as quiet as Sky Sports made us.
City fans were walking out at 2-0. You could see them when we were celebrating. You could see I don't know whether they were just, to be fair, they could just be going to the bar or the toilet, but there were people walking out quite visibly at 2-0. I thought from the scenes I saw.
They were probably thinking that was it done, but I mean, didn't we all? We thought.
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't is the stupid thing. So why am I upset? As I keep saying, but I suppose now we should give Man City some credit. They are a phenomenal side. I mean, to get in the 90s for points in the Premier League is just unbelievable. And
not win the title.
Man City and Liverpool are doing that consistently now. And personally, I wanted Liverpool to win the league. I think they're a phenomenal team to watch. They're my favourite team to watch. And the annoying thing was that Liverpool weren't getting it done when Villa were 2-0 up, because that might have changed things as well. If Liverpool were winning when we were 2-0 up, Man City would have known that. That could have played a part as well. The fact that they were 1-1 at the time, maybe that galvanised Man City a little bit. I don't know. Let them play with a little bit more freedom than they would have done.
That's a good point, because there was, when Liverpool went 1-0 down at 3 minutes, there was a massive roar in the stadium.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't another huge roar until City's third goal. Like the first and the second goals were like almost like, okay, let's go on. This mightn't even be enough for us. And then the third goal went in for City, and then there was now a mighty roar at the Etihad. But yeah, the second biggest roar of the evening came when Liverpool went down 1-0 to Pedro Neto. So it was a really strange day though across the league. Really strange day. We outperformed ourselves, I suppose, when you think about it. The 2-0, like that was a strange result for us to be 2-0 up after 70 minutes. Wolves holding Liverpool was strange, because Wolves haven't been able to hold Toffee for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been very poor. And then other results were wild as well. Obviously Leeds and Brentford going down to almost the last kick of the ball with Jack Harrison putting the back in the net. So it was a wild day across the league. But yeah, as I say, I just wish we could have held out. Even the draw would have been very good for us. It would have been nice for us. It would have, just from a selfish point of view, not for Liverpool winning the league, but for Aston Villa and for going into the off season. I think that dressing room will be down tonight, and I think it should be down. But I think it's bad that they have so much time now to think about a game like that where they can't put it right again, or even go out to try and at least try to put it right for one more week. It's a tough one to finish the league on for the fans, and it's also a tough one, but it's more tough, as I say, for the players themselves.
So tie 14th, I think we ended up finishing in the end. I haven't actually checked the league table, but we lost, so I'm assuming we finished 14th if my maths before the game was correct. Overall, how would you sum the season up?
I'm not going to look into it too much. I think we underestimated how much losing a manager and your best player in the same season impacts you. We definitely could have got more from games. There was times where there's games where we should have won, like today, as an example, where we could have done more. A very frustrating season, but a season where I probably didn't expect much. I didn't expect Gerrard to come in and push us for Europe in the first season. I mean, when you look at it, we're only 7 points off 8th, so
that's why I look at that and think we could have easily finished 8th this season with a bit more nous.
Yeah, absolutely. Disappointing, but since about 30 games, Dan, I've been thinking, I just want the season to end. Let's get it over with. Let's get the players out who aren't right and get the players in who are going to be the difference. So I'm just excited for that now, to be fair. I'm quite... It'll sting a little bit for the rest of the day, but I'll wake up tomorrow morning and it's a new day, innit? We go again. Can you
just flash that back up again now a second? I don't know whether I saw something there that was correct. We lost the third most games in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a problem, that's probably the biggest problem, isn't it?
That is the biggest problem. Turning losses into draws. Like, we have drawn obviously outside the top 4. We've drawn the second least amount, third least amount. You need to be drawing more games than 6 if you want to really kick on. Because 1 point is pretty valuable. You see it there. It's a very concertina type of league. you turn 19 losses, you turn at least half of those, or even if you turn a third of those, that's 6 games, 6 extra points, 6 draws, that also makes the team feel better. It makes the fans feel
19
better.
defeats is bad. That's way every way you look at it, that's bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is. And it's I'll be honest, I remember being on, I can't remember what podcast it was, but I think all you guys were on it as well. I think it might have been Clark Blue. I think Dan Ronaldson did a piece at the start of the season for a
Dan Rollinson joint.
I listened back.
Oh God!
God knows what I would have been saying.
Can you message him and ask him to take that down and destroy it and burn it and make sure that no one ever...
No, see, because if he's listening, he'll post that clip just to wind Dan up.
He doesn't watch anymore. He doesn't watch rival channels. Dan Ronaldson. No, he doesn't watch the rival content.
It was mad.
I forgot about that video.
Like, we were going to, I think I said something like it was possible that Watkins might get 20 and Ings might get close to 20 goals or something.
I think I said 30 goal contributions between them on a podcast. I can't remember whose it was, but I did.
They probably got over 20, I would say, between them. It's not a terrible shout, that. Also, probably one of the better shouts that went out on that video. Probably, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh man,
there's some concerning news, guys, and I don't know whether I should bring it up, but a couple of people are saying here that Robin Olsen, when the fans came onto the field, that Robin Olsen got he got attacked by some of the fans. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
I don't know. It's not good.
I mean, at the moment, where the pitch invasions have been, it's not a surprise, is it?
In a week when it's happened, I think that's a bit of a letdown. That's a bit of a letdown because you see the first guy do it for Forest, and you see guys do it to Patrick Vieira, and you kind of think at some stage somebody's gonna go right. Let's not get my name in the paper, please.
I've never really been a massive fan of pitch invasions anyway. I mean, at least City, I suppose, won the league, so I can understand it in some ways. Yeah. Everton doing a pitch invasion the other night, finishing 16th, madness. Also, if you're coming on to do a pitch invasion when you've won a semi-final, you've won absolutely nothing yet.
I mean, Everton's was probably because it guaranteed survival.
Still, though, I still think Everton shouldn't be celebrating surviving. If we did that, I'd be absolutely humiliated. If we celebrate staying up.
With the week that's in it, I think there would be a lot of conversation.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something done with it. It's absolutely ridiculous now. People just, and the thing is, there's copycats. People with mobile phones. They see one person do something. They want a bit of fame. Do it as well. It's just pathetic. I don't agree with pitch invasions anymore. I never have.
And if you do a pitch invasion, what makes you want to attack one of the opposing players? Like, it just makes
when you've just won the league.
Makes no sense. Yeah.
That goalkeeper just let in 3 goals. Why are you attacking him?
And there's people here saying, like why don't they give points deductions to teams? Like, the teams initially should be the ones to kind of sort this out. This shouldn't be an FA thing. It should be the teams. But I don't know whether points deductions is the right thing. But we're going into the weeds here in this one. But look, for the week that's in it, and for the amount that we've had already this week, you would have thought sanity would have prevailed. But then again, emotions run high after winning the league and 4 o'clock kickoffs. I'm sure there was a pub nearby. So
might have been one or two.
It's going to be very hard to corral people at that stage of the day at 6 o'clock. So there's a lot of mitigating factors, but just keep your hands off players if you do run into the pitch.
Completely unacceptable to be going around assaulting essentially footballers. Not on
especially when you've just won the league.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
You'd understand. You wouldn't understand frustration if they had lost the league, but
they wouldn't be on the pitch, I suppose, if they'd lost, would they?
Yeah, but assaulting someone when you've just won the league, surely that's probably your happiest moment of your year. Why would you want to go and hurt someone?
Now you're probably not going to be able to go to the football for the foreseeable if you are the guy that's done that. I mean, we should say at this point it's alleged. I haven't seen anything.
It's alleged.
Yeah. Is that even a word? Alleged? Have I said that word wrong? Top journalist there.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Alleged. Yeah.
Is it alleged? Fine. Oh, Jesus. Let's go on that.
If that's the only thing that's been said that was wrong in this podcast, then you're fine.
I'm sure there's been many things. There's been many things said wrong on this podcast, including that you're annoying now. So yeah. Let's go. That does us for the poached match point. I can't even talk. The post-match points for this season. We're going to come back and do a video next week around the squad rebuild, look at who we think might stay under Gerrard and who we think might go, although I actually don't think that many will go, so that could be a complete dead video, so we'll see what happens with that. But thanks to Neil and Ty for joining me straight after the game. It is always difficult to come straight on and talk about the match, so I appreciate you coming and joining me, and thanks to everyone that's tuned in through the season as well to the post-match points. We really appreciate it. Thanks to Purity for sponsoring us as well. If you do want to get yourself some Purity Ale, don't forget to use the code #VillaView and that'll get you 10% off. So yeah, another season in the books for Aston Villa Football Club. 14th, last day, capitulation. Manchester City win the league. Hopefully we'll have a happier season next time round. Up the Villa.